Hello there. This is the fourth episode in the series How to Conduct a Political Analysis of Your Projects, Programs, and Initiatives. Today's title is The Duel and the Players. The first episode was an introduction, the second episode covered what politics is. In the third episode, I talked about the players, the stakeholders. The links to all of the previous episodes are in the description below. I was planning to cover the three most straightforward tools briefly. But I thought discussing slightly more about stakeholders would assist you in developing the right perspective. Therefore, I will discuss tools for stakeholders analysis in the next 3 episodes. Let's get right into it. As always, leaving a like and sharing this episode is a free way to support my work. Let us first deal with a question. Why must we analyze the stakeholders? In the previous episode, we have already seen that stakeholders are essentially the executive team, the customers, sponsors, and the team. No project manager in this world can do the job without each one of them. A project manager must engage with the customer to know what he needs. Requires the sponsor to provide necessary resources, funds, and delegate enough authority to deliver. For fulfilling the customer needs. Most importantly, a project manager cannot deliver without a team. It is only the team that can perform to deliver the priorities. Moreover, you cannot forget about yourself. You, as a project manager, always remain responsible for delivery. However, as you make progress, not every aspect, each detail, and all kind of information are relevant to each of the stakeholders. An engineer would love to measure and analyze each fraction of a millimeter to be able to produce the perfect piece of equipment. On the other hand, the sponsor is more interested in the business justification and validity of any initiative to be able to carry on. Similarly, the information requirements and the expectation of the stakeholders varies from role to role, from their responsibilities to responsibilities. Therefore, once the stakeholders are identified, we have to analyze for their authority, power, importance, influence, impact, and prominence in the organization. For such analysis, you may deploy few tools in your project, program, or initiative. Before proceeding, let me give you a metaphor of a duel. Of a physical, hand-to-hand combat. A scenario in which someone is in an endless loop of moves and countermoves with another. Anyone who has had an opportunity to manage and deliver projects must have found himself in such a situation. A situation of uncertainties and unknowns. Of risks and threats. Of pitfalls and opportunities. Of struggles and conflicts. I have begun to call it a play. A play of moves and counter moves. As a project manager, you begin to expect that things will not go the way you have expected. And they don't. Instead, with time, you begin to expect them to go wrong. And in anticipation, you find yourself prepared with appropriate responses. With this image of a duel in mind, let's move back to the stakeholders. One cannot ignore the fact that self-interest drives each of the stakeholders. For some, self-interest is performing the role to their best, whereas for others, it lies in exploiting the opportunities that the initiative has thrown open for their own selfish professional or personal interests. They prefer to pursue such opportunities rather than to focus and deliver the outcome. Each individual is driven by their own value system, ideals, personal aims, and ambitions. Not everyone is committed to professional ethics, values, and norms. Similarly, not everyone is bound to act as per your expectations, no matter how hard you try. There is nothing you can do about it. I call it diversity, and this will persist. It is this reason that I prefer to call the stakeholders the players. Such a perspective broadens thinking. And it helps in prioritizing and delivering the priorities. After having talked about the players' paradigm, let's discuss the basics. The stakeholder analysis. To me, the most critical basis to conduct the stakeholder analysis that exists in this world is to understand their importance to the project, so that you can know why they are important for your success. Moreover, you have to understand what is important to them. This leads to prioritization. Consequently, you are successful in delivering the desired outcome. Of course, if you identify that a stakeholder has more interests in the selfish personal gains than the successful completion of the initiative. As a project manager, your job is to strike a balance. Moreover, with this analysis, your aim should also be to identify your allies and opponents, adversaries and advocates, friends and enemies, those who can support in delivering the desired outcome, and those who will not do so, those who bring value, and those who have only noise value. Finally, I can talk about the tools from the next episode onwards. Remember that these tools are not most likely to be formal deliverables. They are just tools in your toolbox. You may not need elaborated documents to use these tools. Simply use these tools to do your homework and develop the right and realistic understanding about the stakeholders. No, not the stakeholders. The players instead. The players, who are engaged in a constant play of moves and countermoves, each acting within the boundaries of rules, each acting within their own individual and professional duties and rights. Such a paradigm of thinking will help you to develop a perspective, to be able to anticipate and respond to situations. Although this is likely to be a one-time exercise, in your operational context, the organizational changes or changes in strategic focus may be a trigger for redoing this exercise. Important is that you are absolutely clear about the priorities as you make progress and develop the solution. This brings me to the end of this episode. I hope it will assist you in developing an understanding of the stakeholder analysis from the perspective of politics you face as project managers. Links to the previous episodes are in the description box below. Liking, subscribing, and sharing is a free way to support my work. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. In the next 3 episodes, I will cover the 3 most straightforward tools for stakeholder analysis. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode.